I think there's something that you and I have forgotten, but it was supposed to be remembered. It was the point of this whole thing all along. That thing is called the Sabbath. And when I was growing up, the Sabbath was this religious thing that we did once a week. And don't do any work, and God help you, do not mow the lawn on the Sabbath. But the Sabbath was meant for us to remember. It was meant for you and I to stop, to do like God did, which was to take that day and say, I'm going to look back and admire what's happened so far. I'm going to be grateful. And then I'm going to look forward and say, based on all that hope and all the good things that happened, I'm going to remember why I did it in the first place and what's going to have me excited as I go into what comes next. With the Sabbath, it was meant for us to remember, but we've forgotten it. We've forgotten it as a key tool to our way of living an incredibly abundant Christian life. But in our Western habit of success, achievement, and our push to do more, we've found ways to fill that up and say, yeah, I'll vacation it sometime, except that vacation doesn't seem to do enough. And I come back thinking, I either need more vacation or I need a vacation from my vacation. Well, that's just Sabbath deficit. And that's what we're missing. You see, as we're moving from this season to the next, what I want for all of us, is to say that I've got plenty of reason why, lots of hope, lots of purpose. Listen, as a leader, you have got to protect the purpose and your hope that you've got. The reason why you're doing what you're doing and what is filling your heart to keep you going forward. The Sabbath is the key. That's the thing that if we'll do it, we will go a lot further every week. We'll have sharpened ourselves to go into what comes next. But you see, if it's not in your calendar, for me, if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. And the thing is that we keep moving forward expecting something different without changing anything. Listen, if we want to see something really radical happen through us next year, let's not just tithe or give, and let's go even further and say, God, I'm going to give you my most precious thing, my time. I will arrange my time, 1/7 of it, to just start to turn to you. And I will look back at the week past or the season past, and I will be filled with gratitude. I will measure and say, look from where I've came to where I'm at now. Look how much God has done. And with all of that gratitude, I'm now centering on my why. You, Father, are my why. And you're the reason. And not these other things. Not even my family, not even my career or my money or any of that stuff. But you, Father, are my why. And with that as a purpose, then we look forward into what comes next. And in what comes next, we are working to protect that purpose and that hope I was telling you, so that when we lean in, we're ready for that. I want to give you some tips to have a really successful Sabbath. I've already given you one. Book it. You need to have that time booked. And listen, there's Sabbath time on Sundays perhaps, or your day of worship. And just understand that that probably leads you to maybe volunteering and a lot of logistics and hustle and bustle, even in that. And then you think, well, I've just got to go home and watch a sporting event or crash because I really haven't started that. But maybe what you need is to find a midweek Sabbath. To say for yourself, I'm going to book myself, I'm going to take myself out of the office, and I'm going to get alone with you, God. And to get alone with you, having booked it, number one. Number two, I've got to get these gears in my mind stopped. And the way that I do that is something unusual. I want to give you an insight that my friend Rob Dayton gave to me, and something that I've been practicing. And that is this: to be still and concentrate, watch this, on your upper lip. Now, I know that sounds strange, and maybe a little new agey, but don't go there, just listen. The thing about your upper lip is that you know that it's there, but you can't see it, much like our God. And while you work to silence your mind and your heart, we're not trying to empty it of everything. We're trying to get those gears to stop. Because even the screen here and all these devices that we've got, they're fighting for our attention and they're trying to trigger more dopamine. We need to push those aside and let these gears stop. And as they stop, the concentration here as I'm being silent allows me to listen more. As I listen more, it's now my chance to, whether through the scripture that I've memorized or what I'm reading in scripture, or the books that I'm using, even my exercising and moving out into my Sabbath time, now my mind has been moved out of all the hustle and bustle of what keeps me going and says, God, speak to me. Because I want to do amazing things. I'm interested in your vision speaking in and through me. So what would it be like if you would tell me even more, that we would know each other more, and that I would get closer to you in this process? And in that, booking yourself for something like that's special. It may not be every time that you do it. You may have to work in periods of really deep Sabbath like that, or just to make sure that you protect your Sabbath. So it's not just another version of a Monday through Friday, but really a day where, with some quieting, some reading, some exercise, maybe a massage, whatever it is that gets you quieted, listening, available to see some things you haven't seen, to hear some things you haven't seen, or to remember. And that's the thing about Sabbath, the third tip. When you're thinking about executing a Sabbath day, it's all about the RE words. Remember, refresh, renew, re-energize. Get those RE words in gear, because as you look back, as you think about your why, as you look forward, now those RE things are starting to fill us up with the thing I told you you must protect: your hope, your purpose as a leader. Hey, these are the 3 things that I'm suggesting to you as you're getting ready to go into the next season, as we're doing that together. Number 1, book yourself. Number 2, quiet yourself to hear. And number 3, make sure that these things are happening on a regular basis. I'm Jeff Gerhardt, and in the Master's Program, we like to invite men and women like you who believe that God has more for them. With all the success that we've experienced in our families and our careers, it's undeniable to say that we don't have a lot. But what if we were to turn more and more of that into use for the Father and a belief that my life has deep purpose that He made me for? If you're not already a member of the Master's Program, come join us. If you've been and have spent time with us in the past, come back again. We want to continue to engage you and encourage you that the next season is the best season. Okay, until next time, guys, God bless you.